Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well and trust you're having a good day. It is 11:16. Interesting time of the day for me to be starting a video here, guys. But this is a very interesting and unique day as well. Massive up day, huge gap overnight, of course, as many of you know. This is Hump Day, April 23rd. We have now folded after three upper wicks in the New York session. Very messy session here this morning. No trade morning for me. Lots of news and releases throughout here. And I just walked away. And then there was some news here, I believe, at, this is 11 o'clock. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Probably another announcement from the White House or something along those lines, guys. But I'm looking to potentially take a short here, possibly even above the open range, which is very, very unusual for me, unless I have a morning reversal trade or an afternoon reversal trade after we've deviated substantially away from the open range, which we really haven't here today. But the deviation happened here. This is where the deviation happened, right? In other words, the super extension here above both the Asian open range and the UK open range. This almost becomes irrelevant given the sheer size of this move. Let me just throw an EMA on here so you can see that how far we are extended here, guys, with this 9 above the 21 not even coming close to squeezing into each other. This is a very extended move. There's that gap that I have marked out right here, guys. And so now by all historical measures, we are extended. I'm almost going to ignore this open range here, guys, for the first time in possibly 500 videos and 500 trades. And that's because we have a once in a 500 trade setup going on here, guys. Sell stop order right here, guys. Sell stop order right below that big wide ranging wick that you see there. And my stop will be just above this most recent pivot. We are folding over here, guys, going into the close of the European session, which happens in 12 minutes. In fact, some of the markets are closed 18 minutes ago. But all of Europe is closed in about 12 minutes. In fact, I am going to move my stop up above that prior pivot. It just feels more right to me. So I'm going to follow that instinct. I'll bring you back, guys. And I'm in, guys. I am in. And now it's the waiting game. Hopefully I explained this very clearly, guys, that this is about the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. The letter of the law, based on my models, is to not go short above the open range, especially so close to the open range. But this is being governed by much higher principles, and that's this higher time frame of the 30 and this extremely big move here, guys, this tidal shift on the daily chart. We are up 3.4% here on the NASDAQ against a correcting market. Now, we did get some very bullish news here overnight, and that of course is accounting for all of this buying. But every elastic gets stretched a little bit too far, and as long as we have some stuff and the time of day going into the close of Europe and so on and so forth telling us something, there may be an opportunity here to take advantage of. And target 1 has been hit, guys, and so the 1R all or nothing trader has left the game with full profits, and the 2R move stop to break even at 1R has moved their stop to break even because we hit 1R. And now we'll wait and see what happens to the rest of these players. All right, guys, and while this trade is playing out, I want to add some additional color so you understand where I'm coming from in terms of this extreme move and why I entered this trade above the open range. And it was just above, so it's marginal. It's spirit of the law versus letter of the law, and all that good stuff. But I do want to explain, when I see this kind of action, this grind above the open range, and I see prices dropping here, I can just see by looking at it that now all the players that traded above here, or the average trader above here, is now losing money on the long side. One of the ways I can show that to you is by bringing on the anchored volume weighted average price that I sometimes use. I don't usually show it because it's just one more thing to confuse the mix, but there it is, guys. That green line is the anchored volume weighted average price of all transactions from the beginning of the New York session. And you can just see it here. I didn't even need to use this to be able to see that we had now broken down below the volume weighted average price. And so the longs are now losing money and are possibly looking to get out. And I can also tell that the average trader is probably also losing money even from the beginning of the UK session. I don't know that for sure, but let me just put this on here. And yes, there it is. You see all these traders here, guys, on the average right here. In fact, I entered right at or just below the anchored volume weighted average price. And guys, I did not know that this was here. I simply sold below structure and below that pivot, but this is often the way that it works out. Now let's go all the way back to the Asian session, and I'm going to measure not from the open range, which we can do too, but from this low point here where the buying began in earnest in the Asian session. And sure enough, we are also now below that price as well. And so we are now trading below the average price of all transactions that occurred above any of these three green lines. And that's important, and that can beget more selling, especially if we pull back a little bit into this and then begin to round over and drop down. So hopefully that adds a lot of color for you guys. Slightly unusual entry for me, but this bigger picture story takes precedence. This is where the energy and the torque is, guys. And target 2 has been hit, guys, and so the 1.5 hour all or nothing trader has left the game with full profits as well. And there it is, guys. Finally, took a little while to play out. Unusual entry on the 1 minute, but this trade very much driven by the higher time frames and the extreme move that we had here on the daily, for example. Hope you have an amazing afternoon. We'll talk to you soon.